Hello, this is Tim. Welcome back to Tech Artist 41. Well, I've been gone, and yes, I know I took basically the month off from anything. But I'm back. Sort of. Well, I don't know when I'll be streaming, but I'll be streaming at different points in time. I'm also trying to create a book for, well, either a notebook or a sketchbook or just something to help me earn passive income. Because all the other ways that I've tried, it's just been a little hard. So let's go ahead, open recent. Let's see. Let me look at this. There we go. Okay. Drafts. Chain by Fate. Forgotten Guardians. Other. Progress. Bookmarks. Logos. Stickers. Well, sticker reproductions. Stream. Projects. Alright. Book cover. Untitled 2 and Untitled 3, right? Yep. Alright. So for my book cover, this is what I'm going to try to do for my book cover. Yeah, and I kind of got bored one day, but hey, what can you do? Alright. There we go. Okay. And yes, I'm still using Photoshop because there are many programs like Photoshop that work in some degree, but every time I try to do Affinity Publisher, which I can use bits and pieces here and there. If I use Affinity Publisher, I use Affinity Photo within Affinity Publisher. You still have to have all three. And the pressure sensitivity is too hard. I don't press on my screen so much that it's going to end up causing an issue. But having Affinity Publisher Photo or any Clip Studio, I actually have to go into the settings and adjust everything. And I mean, adjust everything. The only reason why I don't use Clip Studio. I do love Clip Studio. It is a beautiful program, but every time I use it when trying to stream, it doesn't work the way I really want it to. I end up getting a geometric shape, and I just haven't found anything better than using Adobe Photoshop. I probably don't need the suite though. That is the only thing, is I don't need the suite. All I need is Photoshop, the apps that they allow, like Canvas and all that stuff, but I don't need all these other programs that they ask for. So, yeah, let's just X out. Yeah, no, let me show you what I mean on this, though. Alright. So, if I go to File, New, and Pages, I only want 2, and say Create. I did not say I wanted this many. Okay. File, new. Pages, horizontally. I only want 2 pages. And it gives me this page and then that page. So I could easily create a cover and do all that, but what bugs me most on this is when I go to photo and it's just one of those things where when you don't use it that much, yeah. And this is also what happens when I use it. Quit. Yeah, I'm not going to rate it, but there are many different issues that are still on the Mac. And also, another reason that I don't... so, I've stopped updating my Macintosh because I've been getting boot loops. And it's just a pain to deal with. So, all these boot loops and yada yada, they're just a pain to deal with. So I try not to deal with them if possible. But yeah. No, the reason why I'm streaming today is whenever I'm frustrated, I want to draw. I want to paint. I want to do this. Playing video games, it only sort of puts me to the point where, yes, I'm avoiding reality. Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all just avoiding reality in everything that we do? Because we don't like to deal with the harsh reality of any aspect of our life. Because most of our lives, they may be great, but they're also pretty bad at the same time. And I know a lot of people don't deal with the same stuff that I deal with. Not even close. And every single time anybody tries to explain anything, it pisses someone else off. So, yeah. There's so many issues with everything in this world. From parents, because not all parents are great. And even those that people think are great, they have so many glaring flaws. But I see someone at face value, and I give them a score. Whether I really want to give them a score or not, they end up with a score. Whether that score is good or bad, I will never tell them. Because if I'd tell them, I'd probably lose quite a bit of relationships and all that. Which I kind of destroyed myself in so many ways. Yeah, any relationship is hard in order to keep it together. Because it's like your friends, if you don't support them in their time of need, well, you will lose them. Or they won't talk to you for however many years. And then when you do talk to them, they're already over it and you're still stuck in the past, dwelling over all of it. But it's just how some things go sometimes. And people are busy, and to no avail is anybody truly right. Because sometimes even the words that someone says are very aggravating, are very frustrating. And we all try to get out of that funk. I myself, in my own reality, is the reason why I don't make a big name for myself or anything like that. I don't care if I'm rich. I really do not. I'm one of the people who, it's like, even if I'm rich, it's like, I won't exploit it. But the thing is, I do want to have a comfortable life. And those who do have it, well, good for you. It's harder to get there from the ground floor, because you may still end up losing it in the future, but at least for now you have you have something good going on. I won't say if it's perfect or anything like that, but yeah, there are blaring issues in every aspect of everything, so I can't say that you had a perfect life or anything like that, but you still have the opportunity to do something so much better than someone who's just trying to get to that point, get to the realization that it's like, I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And yes, I use YouTube as a rant, but the thing is, I love to express my opinion in every aspect of the word. Express. Freedom of speech. That is the hardest thing that people completely ignore and don't realize, is the fact that our free speech, yes, our forefathers fought for it. They made it possible for us to actually express ourselves in a way where the government does not have control. It is written upon the U.S. Constitution to that fact that people just ignore. And so many civil liberties are being taken away, even now, in this entire world. It's like the U.S. and customer service has also been going down because people are relying too much on technology. I love technology, yes. Don't get me wrong. I do love technology and the way it's used for tools, and I use technology as a tool, but I also use it as somewhat of a companion to interact with whenever I'm either tired, bored, or just utterly frustrated by everything that's going on in my own reality. So, yeah, I'm just one of those people who I do care about this world. I wish I could help it, yes. But the thing is, I don't have any power to help anybody at this point. And even if I had that power, the thing is, it's harder to help someone than any initial person thinks that they can. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that, yeah, try helping someone. And see how it goes. Because it may not work out the way you want it to. And every time you try to do something, something will fail. Or just something just ends up going wrong in that whole process. So, yeah. And the thing is, being an artist in this day and age is hard. Because people look at art and say, it's like, I could do that. Well, then show me. It's just really hard to be someone where it's like, if you can do it, then show me how to do it. I'll give you a pen, I'll give you a piece of paper, and start drawing for me. If you can draw something more than a stick figure, I'll applaud you. But if you can't, I'll say, good try. And not very many people even act that way. Try and find someone who will actually say, good job. And the way that everything's being encouraged in schools now is horrid. It is horrid in so many different ways. But I do feel like a level of just having multiple different types of engagement for anything is helpful. And the reason why people don't go to schools or anything like that is they don't have the money to spend on these private institutions. And it is really sad to say that schools are being bought out by companies. Not every school, but trade schools are. And for an artist, that is just utterly insane. And it also makes it to the point where an artist can't really make a living if they don't understand the skills and the knowledge behind it. But you don't need fancy schooling or anything like that. You just need to understand how to do things and to do them well. Because not everybody's going to teach you how to draw or paint or do any of that stuff. Yet they'll give you the opportunity to learn. It may be correct or incorrect. It really just depends on who your teacher or whoever you've been taught by. And yeah, I've been taught by many different people throughout my years. And every single time I go back and wonder, was this the right thing to do? And I wouldn't change a thing because of all the different friends that I met during my college and during my high school and all that stuff. I wouldn't change a thing about those experiences. The only thing I would change would probably be some of the words that I said. Just so that I could still contact them, still talk to them. Because, yeah. I was pretty arrogant, even in college. I had enough common sense, but at the same time, I had a lack of self-esteem. And I always felt that there were people who were just talking behind me or doing this, doing that. But there really weren't that many people that were doing that. There were some when I was in grade school, but that one ended up a little bit dark in my case. I wouldn't change anything because I didn't lose anything out of it, but some people would lose a friend out of that. I won't mention her name or anything like that, but she moved schools, and for her, I did lose a friend that I never did see again. There are those cases that you will lose friends along the way, no matter what you do. Sometimes life just happens. And there's nothing you can change about that. But at the same point, there are so many things that you can change and fix and all that. So oops, don't want to erase all of that. Just want to erase enough. Well, you could also put a mask on it and it would do a similar thing. But yeah. But there's a reason why people don't put eyes behind certain things and just leave them out. Because even if you can see it, it's better that you don't. So, in order to alleviate that, all I have to do is that, and just not draw it. But there we go. So now we have this. I'm going to draw her too, but let me see, where, no, I moved everything, so it doesn't work anymore, but, so the forest, yes, I did some of this off on my own. This is mostly just a sketch of what I was thinking. And I was thinking of just doing the forest behind her. So let's see, forest. And then just flipping it, but yeah. But it's always fun to draw multiple different things, multiple different elements, and whatnot. And yes, this is my sketch. Sometimes my sketches end up very detailed, and I have to... You want to make sure that anytime you're doing something that there is some sort of line and basis behind it. Then we can actually branch this off here because I'll most likely redraw this whole thing just to clean it up and clean up the lines, the indentations, the structure of the trees, and the way it looks. So my sketches just end up being a little bit more well, unique, we'll say. And when you're dealing with multiple layers and whatnot and stuff, so you put the layer you want in front on top, then in between the two layers, just to show some sort of distance, you do darken it just a bit, but if you really want to get that effect, you kind of put in a sort of blue tint to it, so it looks sort of like a muddy gray. But if you're trying to brighten up something, you do put quite a bit more. So G, fill, and then you just turn down the opacity of and just say darken. But you don't put it on full bore. And then in the background, what you do for the last part of this is you add another layer, but you give it a more bluish tint, and then you fill that too. So you have a sort of color that just makes it so that there's some depth in there. But what I would suggest is a really dark color as a solid color for the background, and then it doesn't have to be completely black or anything like that, but it does add such an interesting effect. And you don't have to put any gradients or anything like that. You can just leave it like that and then add the color in. So if I were to add color into here, so let's see, we're looking more of a brown. So for the things that are closer to you, they are lighter. And the things that are further away from you, they are quite a bit darker. So you do have to understand that you need to make certain colors brighter and darker depending on if they are in the foreground or in the background. So we turn off these trees. Brush. Oops. I do want this to be behind this. And let me bring the size up. The larger the brush size, the easier it is to fill. And the reason why I don't use generative fill is because it does a poor job in my case, because it doesn't always get behind everything. There we go. And I'll fix the shape later, but that's mostly what I want it to look like. And then I'll also fix this guy later. It's just for right now. And then this guy. Very, very nice. You need to make sure that the silhouette, even so, is a good silhouette. And then when you do it for this one, you'll have to understand that anything behind a color will make it darker, but you want to actually increase the darkness and make it so that it doesn't interfere with any of the other objects or anything else that appears in the scene or in your drawing. The reason why I like drawing forests is, well, they're easy, and you can do a lot of tricks to make it look nice. And we may need to fix that, but yeah. And there we go. So we got that, and here's what so if we put this on full here, so with and without, so it's a slight difference, but if you really want to add that effect, you will actually have to go quite a bit darker to get the right effect you want sometimes. And that really adds to the effect. I may need to change the color of the trees here though. But yeah, no. By adding that, it adds a more atmospheric look. And then in the darkest reach of the background, might as well just make that black, because it'll make it a little bit more scary in a sense, but for me to see everything, I kind of like to have it a little bit brighter. But yeah, no, there are many different aspects to this that add to the experience of creating a background, making it look nice, and whatnot. But you can see how the effect really adds to the trees. I wanted to at least show you guys that. But that'll be my background. I'm still working on a little bit of it. And then her. So layer 6. So we got most of her. I do need to put in her shoulders and all that stuff. So brush. So if we're going from here, here, and well, her shoulders can't be outright out because of how everything looks on this. There we go. But there, she has a generic looking face. Well, not really, but so let's change her nose just a bit. So I'm going to just change it a little bit. It's like I could add a nose ring and all that, but yeah. No. And then let's work on her coloring. So her colors are going to be more of a reddish. Red hair, orange hair, burnt orange hair. Let's go with an orange look. Yeah. That's not going to work. Let's go with more of a brown. Yeah. I can work with brown. I'll add orange highlights and all that, but yeah. And yes, filling it in would be a lot faster. And I don't use generative AI for my drawing. For inspiration, yes, I will use generative AI and all that. But that's only if I want to play around with it and just redo it completely. Because I still change up the colors and all that stuff for anything that I do. And could AI do this a lot better? Probably. Would it do it in a way that I'm pleased? Not really. It has trouble with eyes, hands, sometimes nose, sometimes the mouth, sometimes the whole face. Not really with drawings like this, but no, it has issues on all different fronts. Because it has issues on toes and hands. People are still trying to work out the kinks of it. Well, it's not really AI, it's more of a part of AI in my case. And whenever someone considers AI to me, it doesn't come across that way. So it comes across like, wow, you created something through artificial intelligence, right? Yeah. But aren't we all always using artificial intelligence? And yes, artificial intelligence does get a little bit crazy and a little bit insane at times. Because when you're dealing with robots and stuff like that, AI scares everybody. Whether someone likes it or not. And maybe the machines themselves are learning day by day, biding their time when someone creates a complete and utter complicated algorithm that gives them sentience. We'll never know. But yeah, no, there are many different things that you could do to make everything work or everything fail. It really just depends. But yeah, no, drawing helps me calm down and think over things and makes it so that I can sometimes do things better or sometimes do things worse. We'll never know until it comes out that way. And of course I will have to fix all this, so I'm not shading right now for the fact that I need to fix all the blaring issues that I have right here. All the unevenness, the lines, and whatnot. So, yeah, there's that. Because whenever someone does an art piece, they will redraw it at least 50 different times. It's just a fact. Because every time they do draw something, it's not perfect. And it won't be perfect until they're finished. When is that? Sometimes never, but she needs more of a darker tan. Yep, that works. And the reason why a lot of people just use cell shading is because it's a lot faster. It's a lot easier to just create something through cell shading and whatnot. I haven't drawn my avatar for something like this and have it so that it's done in live 2D and all that crazy stuff. I could do it myself. It would take hours, but I could get it done. But yeah, no. But the thing is, for something like that, I actually have to separate this whole piece, 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 this, that. Make sure the ears just separate, because sometimes people's ears do twitch. And then also, I would have to put every single, not just every single color, I have to put every single color on a different layer. But I would also have to put the neck on its own separate layer. I would have to make sure that the whole head is its own separate layer. The eyes are on their own separate layer behind the eyes that we know. Plus the white, it just has to be a generic blob behind the eye itself. And the way the eye moves. So, and then I have to do other work where I have to redraw this and put her whole body completely base nude, which entails that she is a plain blank character before I can actually do anything with her. And then the makeup, I have to make sure that that is done in a specific way. The mouth, oh, don't get me started on the mouth, because you actually have to have both the top and bottom lip separate. And then behind all of that, you actually have to have this whole black space that has either teeth or no teeth. You can just fake it with anything like that, but no, it gets quite a bit crazy, so I don't want to deal with it. At least for right now. Maybe when I have time that I can spare to myself, that I'm not gonna regret it. So let's see. Did I do an oops? Maybe. Let me look at this. So layer 6. Let me just fill this in, because yeah, that looks a little bit more correct, because it's either this whole thing is blacked out, or something like that, something like this, dun dun dun, and then this, or even, whoops, let me erase that again. Let's see. Or should I do something along the lines of this? Because, it works for her, but I don't want that to be. So many people are religious, and they do take offense to anything that involves the devil or whatnot. But yep, that'll work. Then we look at the highlights and whatnot. So add that, and then this, and there we go. Well, if you want to draw a simple eye, there it is. That is as simple as you can get it. And then you draw, and then you add the white behind the eyes too. Let's highlight for eye highlight. And then for this, that's good. And then we just need one thing behind it. And that is the whiteness of it all. because we do still need white to be behind the eye itself. I don't want to put black or anything like that. No, we're not making a demon eye. No. And then for this, you just do that. And that's mostly how someone's eye looks, generically. And then we look for a good color for her jacket. Usually for something like this, you either go towards a dark blue or brown, just something. Because darker colors look better for jackets like this, but you can do light colors work well too. There's no in between, because if you do an in between sort of cloak or anything like that, it looks a little awkward because no one's used to that. So we're going with a darker color, even though the background's just as dark. There we go. And voila! We have our basic character, and we have our background setting. So the next step that you would most likely go towards is figuring out, how do I shade the background? How to do that in this? So there are ways to do it very simply and easily. Still need to do the earrings. Well, the earrings, because they're on the ear. So let's save this. She looks good, though. She fits the scene. They're warm and cool colors, but they're still complementing her. And all the directional lines, the individual directional lines that are invisible to everybody's eye, actually, they're actually directing back to her in some way, form, or fashion. Because when you look at the branches, they just go back into here, and then they circle around, and still there is a spiral always going and moving within your creation. And you want it to be there. Yes. Whoops. So you want this to sort of happen of what people's eyes are wandering. You don't want to... I still need to add one more tree just so that there's not blank space. And because there is blank space, I can add a title or something like that that'll still direct it to the eye or whatever. But no. But yeah, no, that'll be at least something interesting. But let me go ahead and save this. Yeah, I want to save that graph, sure. Why not? And I'm going to save as, actually, to just save it as something different. Forest. Forest girl, no. Her name is Xian. Xian. It's Xian. Yeah, the thing is, my brain is always in diaphragm. Sun in the forest. And of course, no one's going to say that correctly, no matter how much I pointed out. But let's save her as Zon in the forest. I'm going to minimize her for at least a moment. And then open Clip Studio Paint. Because there are some tools in generative AI and all that stuff that, yeah, as you can see, I do have my own backups of my stuff. So my movies and my shows, I do back them up. I'm also trying to create subtitles and whatnot for them that I have to redo because they did it in sub and I have to change it to SRT and all that crazy stuff. But yeah. Alright, let's open. There we go. In progress, other holiday projects. The cover. So there are many ways to use AI and such, and the ways to use them is very unusual in its own temperament. Yeah. So it does not like CMYK, so you can see the colors do change quite a bit. So let's go to this one and say this one is set as not a reference layer. Raster, vector. Well, yeah. But yeah, no, this is more of the outline. So, rename. Let's see, merge. There we go. Let's see. Character. Outline. Down all the way down to here. Group all of our objects in a folder. Well, we tried. Let's see. There we go. Take all that, put it in a folder. So there are many different ways to do this. But this is the best way in my sort of reference of stuff. So we take this and we go to the, let's see, layer, convert, no. Let's see, animation, no. Story, no. Filter, view, render, effect. Alright, let's see. I know there's an option for convert. Well, have it colorize. No, it's over here somewhere. Shading assist. There we go. And you do have to make sure that one is at least named outline of some sort. So it will take your drawing and apply a filter, filter to it. So however, which way you want your drawing to show or anything like that. If you want your drawing to be really dark or anything like that. And you can add different effects for the cell shading. So if you want a more together look, you can do something like that. Reverse shadows. Yeah, and you can most likely play around with it. This is the one thing that I do like about Clip Studio is that you can make a scene however which way you want, and this assist tool will finish off whatever you're wanting to do. It's not the best way, but it at least makes it so that it takes out a lot of the work that you have to do. This is one thing that AI actually does right for all that. And light bulb position, directional light. Wait, And just by changing directional light. So how do you want it to come in? Do you want it to be behind her, in front of her, beside her? And then how much of the shadow do you want shown? So if you want it mostly to the point where the shadows are very minimum and you want more light coming across her, I like the ball. It does quite a bit better because that's mostly how things show up anyway. But there are some areas that it can improve on. It's not the best way to do anything on this. So, but if you're doing smooth shading, it does a little bit better of a job. But if you're doing something that it really doesn't need such detail, it's better just to do a certain amount. But I'm not going to use this. It would be easier, but I don't like the easy path. Don't save. Let's quit out of... But that is one of the easier ways, the better ways that AI is used. And yes, these are not my drawings. I just like the images. They look nice. Alright. So, let's see. Now that we have all of that, we don't need the second eye because it looks wrong. And there we go. Alright, so now we redraw everything. But yeah. But I'm going to at least stop it there for today, and I may continue this one, or I will continue on another drawing like this one. Actually, let me just go ahead and finish this, not finish the other one, but at least sketch her out, because I like her too. And she's done a different way than I do most of my drawings. When I first started digital art, I used a tablet, and yes, that was nice. So I have to, yeah, when drawing hair that's curvy and wavy, you kind of can't draw it sagged. You have to, well, you can draw it sagged, but I don't like to. I like to change shape, and sometimes I like the look of the new look rather than the old look that came across. There we go. Yep. I like the old look. That looked a little bit better. Including this. And that. This. That. Yeah, curly hair is very, very complicated. And then for the headphones, you do have to give it a little bit of depth so it doesn't look completely flat. And then, if anything that's on it like this, you do have to make sure that it's part of it. And then there we go. Yeah, I don't own any headphones like this, or or any type that would follow these lines. Yeah. That just looks cheap. We'll just leave it off. I probably need to look at headphones to figure out what I want to do there. But let's see. And all the eyelashes are triangles, in a sense. And of course, if an AI got hold of my brain, they'd find out the secrets and they would want to kill them. Well, they would want to do something to themselves. Not really kill or anything like that. Let's see. Average duration, there we go. Is it? Yeah, it's still streaming, so I don't know what's going on there. Okay. And just because of what this character likes, I'm just gonna put heart in the eye. And then let's see. We'll grab some of that. Well, not really grab, but you know what I mean. And then we'll give her more of a kissing looking face. But we need to do quite a bit. So we need to do this. There we go. And then let's just leave it at a shape like this. And there we go. And of course, there are many ways to make drawings look right, but yeah. There we go. We have the look of a crazy, well, a crazy obsessed person, we'll say. Yeah, that's the right one. And the thing about the blush, though, I do take things from anime as well, like the blush, because there are many ways to do the blush too. So you can either do a couple of lines like this and then like that, or you can just do lines themselves. But I will need to change the color at some point to an actual blush. And then we fix the hair to make it so that it looks right. Go. And we have our crazy obsessed yandere-like character. She will go to the ends of the earth for you. You may not want her to come, but she'll be there anyway, watching you from a distance, stalking you at every moment. No. I do love yandere characters, as long as they're not trying to kill me. That's the one thing. It's like, you really don't want a yandere character. You don't want anyone to become a yandere character. Because when they get that obsessive, yeah. It's just harder to deal with. You can turn them back to normal, it's just good luck. And when I say that, I really mean it. Oh wait, did I? I did. It's all in a separate layer. Oh. Well, it's the first part of the drawing. We'll fix that later. But yeah. That's what you want to do, is make sure that you're on the right layer. And then this part right here. Yeah, I don't really draw too many of these. Well, I don't draw this sort of character at all in most cases, but I wanted to draw her. She looked like fun. It's like one day, let me just draw this crazy obsessed character that looks like she's so infatuated that she'll do anything for you. We'll just give her bluish hair. Call it a day on that. Yes, I'm slightly colorblind, so it may not be blue. But no, she still came out quite well. I need to fix this part because I need to look at something for that. Okay. Change size. Just makes it easier. I'll fix the details in a second. But yeah. No, crazy obsessive. Actually, I wouldn't mind having someone like that. That's just. But I really don't want anybody killing anybody. That's the only part that would bug me. Because if they do anything in my name or for me, they end up cursed. Whether they like it or not. It's more of something that I cannot even... it's something that I just can't get rid of. We're all cursed in one way or another. But long goes my rant. And... alright. She's at least set for next time, so... there's that. I'll clean her up. But yeah. No, she'll probably be the one that returns, and then we'll continue with her. Actually, I'll most likely try to finish her because I want to at least try to get some passive income. Because I know there are a lot of people who do Illustrator work and whatnot and so forth. I don't like charging so much. I don't care if I'm rich or anything like that. I just want to be somewhat comfortable just so that I can focus on my own ideas and parts of reality that I want to actually focus on. Because eventually I do want to create a supercomputer that runs off of crystal quartz by engraving and laying and directing all that stuff within a cubic-like structure. So eventually I'll get to that. It'll take a while. A lot of bumps on the road. But this is me signing off for today. Well, I'm glad to be somewhat sane, but not quite. But I hope everybody's had a good night, and this is me saying adieu, and this is Tim from Tech Artists signing off.